Okay, family. I am unmuted, I think. I think you guys can really see us this time. I'm switching on my computer over to our Enter Tai Chi channel so I can see your comments. Give me a moment.
All right, that's working.
Yay. Okay,
This
that
is a
is
new video, or is this the
working.
same video?
What do you mean is it a new video? It's not
Did
gonna
you
be, it's
did
gonna,
you close the other one out and put up new so I know to open it up from in here?
it has to be closed
Okay.
out. Yeah, it's a completely new one. Though we don't look the same. All right, let me pause this. Okay, so you can see us. That's all that matters. All right, that is good. Okay, family. Whew, that was fun. Not really. I hope you guys are having a good day. Um, it's been quite a wild ride. We've been testing out a lot of different softwares today, and this is software that we used yesterday to do Sifufu's live class. Thanks for all the people that were able to make it. I know John wasn't able to make it, but all is well. He says, evening all, I'll be here as long as I can. Internet going in and out. Yeah, that's about how my day has been. Everything's going in and out. So thank you guys and gals that have joined us. If you had questions in the last one, please re-put them back in here. I don't have a way to go back and see them. I'm sorry about that. Phil Rat said, hurrah. All right, let's see, guys, real quick. Host CJ Jamie, Sifufu. We're at a Shaolin. We're here to serve you, and we're gonna do Kung Fu Q&A in 30 minutes. Okay, so let's make this good. Let's see. Lucky Lido says, "Sup, everyone? Haven't been around in a while. Hope everyone is doing okay." Yes, we are okay. Life is hectic, but you know, it seems to be hectic everywhere right now. Lot going on in this crazy world right now. Lucky Lido is coming in from Detroit. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So we have Shalom on as well. And then LT Newbie. John says pizza ranch with the family having dinner. So dinner after wife tried hard to get arrested. Time to teach Tai Chi. Oh my goodness, again? How many times did she almost get arrested living there? I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like that place has been good to y'all, but maybe not for Trish going to jail. And I'm glad that you're eating pizza tonight because normally tonight I have pizza in honor of my son. My last meal with him before he passed away was a pineapple pizza. But because my daughter's working and I'm here with you guys tonight, I don't get to do that. So I'm happy that someone's eating pizza. That is so cool. What's up?
What is this? You're not on the right one.
I'm not on the right one.
No.
Okay. I don't know. I just clicked on the one that it said that was live.
Go there.
Okay, I'm not even on the right one, guys. So I'm reading one from a time before. So I'm glad to know that Trisha's not getting arrested tonight because I was like, again. All right. I was wondering, I'm like, why does it look weird? Okay. All right. It's still weird because we're like, flipped around strange.
Oh my God. Hi.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I'm doing pretty good because I'm not like bawling my eyes out. Today, with my son would have been 19 years old. So it's between that and then my mom's birthday last month. It's just been a roller coaster of emotions. And then everything that's been going on here in the United States and the South it's just been a lot of emotions going on. Prayers for again for anyone out there that's still missing their loved ones and or has lost loved ones during this crazy time. And prayers for Florida because there's another big storm brewing in the Gulf of Mexico right now. A lot going on. You're off Kenner because you just got to move in, Sifu. We're not able to see ourselves the way we normally do. So we're seeing it as it's happening. So it's going to be a little bit weird. Hopefully, this upcoming weekend, we'll have a proper monitoring system set up where we'll be able to see ourselves in real time like we normally do. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate it. Ralph's coming in from Texas and he said, prayers for you, CJ. And good to know, again, John may be coming in and out, but it's not because of his internet connection. He's eating at his sister's house, and it doesn't look like that his wife might be getting arrested for possibly the second time. So that's good to know. I don't know if you're still on, John. I know that you said in the first one that you might not be on for long. So Shalom said, hi, Sifu. What is wrong with Aikido in general and how do you fix it? Thanks.
What's wrong with Aikido is when people practice it, they're practicing it with people being cooperative, not being resistant. That's the first and foremost problem with Aikido. It works when people.
Are you on, Sifu?
Yeah. Yeah. My
Now
power's on.
you are now.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I was doing a conserve
Another
battery.
tech issue.
Oh, God.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're great.
Oh, did I switch to Verizon? Oh, we can just move this because that camera's there. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, what's wrong with Aikido really is the fact that it works on people being cooperative, not being under resistance. That's why when people are fighting them, it's hard for them to do it. Aikido is good. I'm not going to take away Aikido, but it really works on people who are cooperative. It doesn't really work against fighters who are resisting with full power. I know this because I've actually did a lot of seminars with Aikido schools and everything, and I've gone against Aikido teachers and my students have and everything. And when people are at full resistance, they don't work. It's kind of like they understand the general idea, but they don't understand the specific. For example, how do you lose weight? The idea is just burn more calories than they consume. Great. Now they have the general concept. Tell me how to do that. And that's what they lack. They understand the general. They don't understand the specific. They understand that the goal is to get from, like, you're doing a wrist lock, get the hands to bend, turn it. But a lot of times they do it where, again, people are letting them do it. When you have a guy in a full resistance, it's not the same. You're able to lock because anatomically speaking, you can put them in that lock because they're letting you, because there's no energy to resist you. But when you add that, they never consider it. I won't say never, but most of them don't have that consideration of someone's force against what you're doing. And that's where they make that mistake. And again, I've done lots of seminars. I've went against with a lot of Aikido teachers who are 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. And they look great when they're doing to the students, but the students are just standing there. They don't give them resistance. And then they try to demonstrate it and lock me out, and they can never do it. And I'm not doing full resistance. I hold maybe 10% of my energy to resist them, and they still can't do it. They'll try to yank my arm, try to pull me off balance to take the lock, but I won't resist them. So when they try to do this, I will not give them any energy they can use. So they're just trying to do these locks that in my eyes are good when you get them in the lock. The question is how do you get them in the lock? Once you can apply the lock, it works well. The question is, like I said, is how do you get them into that lock to make it work? And that's the part that's missing to me in Aikido. They can't get that transition into the lock. If you give them the lock can work. They can break the wrist, they can break the arm, they can break the elbow. But the question is, like I said, is how do you get that transition from that moment of striking to that lock? Because obviously people are not going to give it to you. When you do locks, you have to take it from them. No one's going to give you a lock. It has to be taken from them. So that question right then and there is the main thing that they have not really figured it out. And that's the problem with Aikido. Like I said, the locks aren't a problem. Getting into it is the problem. And that's where, when you have full resistance, it doesn't work. And like I said, I'm not just saying this to say this. In my lifetime, I've met probably at least 8, maybe 9 Aikido masters. And not only that myself, but my students have gone against Aikido masters. And it really, really is the same thing. If my student says, go ahead, lock me, they can't lock them, even if they give them like 10, 20% resistance. They try to yank faster, they try to force it, they try to get you when you're not ready. But when a guy is full of resistance, they can't do it. They just can't do it when a guy refuses to let them. They can do it when a guy lets them. They can't do it when a guy won't. And that's because, again, they're not learning how to control the energy, just learn how to take someone who has no resistance. And that's the fault. How do you fix it? You got to let the guy basically go full, like just hold, full hold. And if you can learn to lock it, then you can now understand how to lock someone. That's the key. And what I mean by that is like I went against an Aikido teacher in Pittsburgh, and his method of trying to take someone a lock and a resistance, he'll try to jerk their balance. He'll try to make them take a step where they forget to resist with their hand and they concentrate on regaining the balance. Then they can take the risk. The problem with that is like if they don't, well, then what are you going to do? I said, do whatever you want to lock me. You can push, pull, puff, or strike me in the face or the groin. I told him, like, you can hit me in the ribs if you want to. Just don't hit me in the face. Don't hit me in the groin because, you know, that hurts. And I wouldn't want to get like that. And so I said, just yank me, push me. You can hit my ribs. You can hit my body. You can do whatever. And take me. And no matter what he did, he could not lock me. And again, I was not a full resistance. I was holding. And I said, you see how I said, what I feel you do is opposing my energy. You're not learning to use my energy. You learn to oppose the energy. And so I locked him. I said, look, do what you want to do. I said, I won't even hit you. I said, you can fight me, you can pull, you can do whatever, and watch how I do it. And I locked him within less than a half a second because I learned how to convert his energy. He was trying to overcome my energy. And that's the main difference. We teach you how to use energy rather than overcome the energy. Overcoming energy can work if you can make the guy break his resistance, which is why they try to yank you, they try to distract you. But when a guy will not, it will not work. With the techniques that we do, you can be at full resistance and it will still work because I'm using your energy against you, not opposing your energy against you. And that's the main thing.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Hey, Victor, good to see you on. Let's see. Ralph says, true on that, Sifu, all defense in Aikido. Victor also said Sifu Larry, and Sifu Jamie. Namaste. Good to see you. Namaste as well. Kevin says, good evening, Sifu. What's the difference between short and long form in Tai Chi? I love this.
The amount of moves. Okay. If you're doing a short form, you're just doing a shorter version. You will not get the full benefits of a long form because it's like a bridge version of a story. You're getting the gist of it, but you didn't get the meat of it. When you do the long form, you're hitting all aspects of the Tai Chi form to develop the energy, to control the energy. When you do the short form, obviously you're gonna get a lot less. You can get the basics, the essential, but you won't get to the meat and bones of it unless you do the long form, because the long form has a lot more moves. Like just say out of 10 moves in the long form, you're doing a short form which has 4 moves. So there are 4 good moves that develops the body, but you're missing 6. And so the long form has the 10 moves, while the short form has only 4 moves. 4 moves are essential in terms of the basics, understanding the balance, the control, but it doesn't get to the meat and potatoes where you learn to turn your body, you learn how to feel the energy more than just like push and pull. You're missing the rollback, you're missing the press. So stuff like that. So that's the only difference, but it depends on what your goal is when you're doing your form. If you're just doing it for a competition, short form is where it's at. That's why they made short form. Nobody wants to watch people do competition, do a 30-minute form. Okay. If you got 5 people competing, you know, that's 2.5 hours just to watch 5 people. If you have 10 people, that's 5 hours of watching. And then you'd be bored as a judge. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm seeing that within the first 15 moves. Actually, I could tell within the first 5 moves whether the guy's good or not.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch a long form to tell. After 5 moves, I could tell whether he's connected, whether he's rooted, where he's got the energy going to the wrist or not. So the short form is made for competition, really, which is because nobody wants to watch a guy do Tai Chi for 30 minutes. So the Tai Chi has been shortened to where it lasts like 2 to 3 minutes. People can tolerate watching competition forms within that time. Nobody wants to watch a 30-minute form, especially if it's repetitive for a lot of the movements that you make. So the short form was made for the purpose of really competition, but the long form is more the beneficial.
And hey, for those of you that are members in Shaolin, if you ever don't have time to do all 3 of our thirds, because we break down our Tai Chi in thirds, then you can do a short form by just doing your first third or your second third. Or if you want a medium form, combine the first and second or second and the last. But obviously, if you have time and you've got to the point of memorization, all is best. All right, fam. All right, let's see. Kung Fu box or Kung
Fu boy.
Well, no, there's a Kung.
Oh. No, he's doing
boy?
Kung Fu, like he's making a pun. It's Kung Fu, right? Kung Fu boy. Like pho. That's how you say
Pho.
F-A-U-X. Kung Fu boy.
No, that's like faux pas.
Right. F-A-U-X is like pho, like Kung Fu boy. He's saying a pun, like Kung Fu
No,
boy.
no, no, I know, but it's
I know it may not
never
be great,
mind.
but that's the pun he's made.
It's okay. I get what he's trying to do, but I think he's trying to say he's
Let's
like
go
a
for the
fake
question.
kung fu boy. But anyways, what's your preferred exercise to improve cardio?
Any exercise that you do to improve cardio really requires you to do exertion of the body for at least 30 minutes. That's that's why there's all kinds of exercises that you can do for cardio. They're all good. They're all beneficial. It just depends on what you want. Running is good. Cardio kickboxing is good. Any type Tai Bo back then was good. It was at least a 25. Actually, they say 20 minutes, but I hear 25 is the general what you want. But you have to just move your body for 25 minutes, get your heart pumping for that time frame.
Do you have a favorite?
So me, I like to run. If I like to cardio, I like to run. It's just simple. It's easy. I go places,
Right,
stuff like that.
wherever,
So
run, pretty
running
much.
is just the easiest. But you could do Thai boxing if you want to. You could do anything. You can stand on heavy bag and punch kick for 30 minutes and push your body. So any type of cardio is really, it's not what the exercise is. It's exerting the body for at least that 30-minute time frame to get the heart rate to go. That's what cardio is. It's getting your blood flow. So Tai Chi is a form of cardio, but it actually works in the opposite method. It's not teaching to exert the body. It's actually teaching to control the body and lower your heart rate. So it works on a different, and I think both are good because it's like internal, external styles. They both have benefits to it. So to me, running is the easiest form for me. I don't want to stand in front of something and just do a punch and a kick on a bag, which is fine. Somebody can do that. I prefer to be more active when I'm going to be active. So like animal training, like I prefer to get to the straining of the body, heart rate going, doing something where I'm hitting, throwing, stuff like that, where I can exert really hard in my body. So that's me. That's my preference. I'm not saying that any other way is bad. They're all good. It's just whatever you prefer to do.
Yeah. Do something that you like so you'll keep doing it.
Right. But just get your heart rate going for that 30 minutes.
Hey, speaking of cardio and martial arts in a roundabout way, does anyone remember Tai Bo by Billy Blanks? I used to love that. I don't know if anyone still does that, but I used to love that. It used to be so fun.
Oh, you don't remember Tai Bo? Yeah, he made millions from that.
Yeah, I know. I used to have the exercise.
He got
DVDs.
really famous after he got on Oprah. That's what he started from his Tai Bo.
That's usually how it happens. Big. Yep. Let's see here. We have Jimmy Perez. What's happening, Sifu? I know you get your base by jamming your shoulders down to your elbows. Do we ever say to jam your shoulders down to your elbows?
Well, we say jam into the person, not jam down. You want to jam into your opponent.
Yeah, not jam your shoulders down to your elbows, but we'll talk about that in a second. But how do you get your drive from there? So let's talk about this.
You do it at the same time. You can't do one then the other. You do it one and the other. So a true base has to have a drive. So if you do a base and no drive behind it, it doesn't work. That you can't get the drive if you just do a base. It won't work. You'll under pressure, you'll collapse, or you'll have to fight to maintain. So if you're doing a base like this, there must be a drive behind that base. You cannot just do a base like this and not have a drive. That's called a false base. A lot of people do that. A lot of Wing Chun guys create false bases. They bring the elbow like this and they go like this. That's a false base. Your elbow should always have a drive behind that base. Otherwise, it won't work well under pressure. So when you're doing it, you want to make sure you're doing it at the same time. You're not doing it right after. Like I said, it's not one, then two, then three. It's one and two and three. So when you're doing a jam, like if she's punching me, I don't bring my elbow first and then bring the drive up after. It would never work. The impact will knock my arm backwards. In other words, she comes, I just, it'll just, because there's no energy coming at that point. So you're creating this energy here, but there's no fear, but that's where the contact is. So when she's punching me, I'm just driving up as I drive forward, so they occur at the same time. What direction do you get when you drive through a force vertically up and horizontally over? If you combine those two forces at the exact same time, what direction do you get? 45 degrees, right? So that's a combination of the two together. So when you're doing your base and drive, you want to get that elevation up as you drive forward. So it's like this angle up like that. So it looks like a 45 if you look at the direction of the elbow. So it's like I'm going 45. See, I'm having that shooting upward, forward, upward energy. So you must curve that side, and not just that. when you're ready to attack to convert, you have to turn your wrist. You have to turn your wrist exactly in that moment? No, the wrist is something that you can do where you can choose to turn whenever you want to within a certain time frame. It doesn't have to be exactly with the drive. It has to when you're ready to convert. Whenever you're ready to convert, you have to have that all work together. But if you just want to intercept or you don't want to convert, that's fine. If you just like, you don't want to attack the guy, he's your friend, someone you don't, you could just convert and bring it up so the pressure doesn't come to you, it comes above you. Now, if you want to attack, that's when you have to convert your wrist. But a base must have a drive behind it at the time that you are intercepting someone's hands. If you don't, then you're never going to get it under the pressure. So it has to occur at the same time.
All right. Good question. Good question. Let's see. Kevin says thanks. Brinko says appreciates. And Shalom says, what is short and what is long?
Hey, I think he means the Tai Chi form. Or what do you consider short versus what you consider long?
I guess like maybe how many moves?
It depends on you. Like, okay, in competition, they consider like 16 to 48 moves is a competition form that's short. Long, it's a matter of comparison, right? Like, is 10 minutes long for you or 10 minutes short for you? You know, when we're having fun, an hour flies by quick. When we're bored, we hate the times. Like, you know, it feels like an hour. It's like 5 minutes went by. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm just sitting there. So it's a matter of what's up to you. In competition form, it's like usually 16 to like 48 moves. That's considered short. Like again, some forms might go, no, it has to be like a 16 move form in this competition. You can't do a 48 a step form in this competition. It just depends.
Yeah.
But what you consider a short and long, that's up to you. I prefer the long form because I want to train for the energy. But if you train for competition,
like a lot of people I know like that have come to our school, usually their ones that they learn short form is like the 24 moves. So in case you're wondering how many moves is in the long form for Yang, I believe it's 108, correct?
Yeah, 108, 116. Depends on whichever form. Yeah, there's different Yang family forms. So it's between 108 and 116. Someone else from VF, I was like, no, we have 124. I'm not saying it's written in stone. I'm saying the general rule, the most common, most popular Yang form is with 108 to 116.
There's room for wiggle, a little wiggle room there.
You can develop your own Tai Chi form. This, like I said, it was not set in stone. God did not put his hand on the stone and wrote, said, this is how it is. You know,
this is the only form of Tai Chi you shall do.
You can make it however you want. If you're practicing Tai Chi and you've been doing it for 30 years and you develop more moves that you found that was useful and you add it and you pass along to your students, then it's fine. It's whoever wants to carry that system on and find it valuable will use it. When Ip Man learned the Zhang form, there's supposed to be 116. He didn't like 8 of them. He took it out and it's now like considered 108 moves. So it's up to you. Like if it works for you in combat and it helps you in combat, then sure. There's no, like I said, there's no one thing to say this has to be that. If you do that, it's only for traditions. That's all.
Let's see. A says, how does one do a grabbing hand lap south if the person is too big? Can you pull someone's hand and arm by moving them to your center of mass or connecting them to your lats to pull them?
Okay. So when we grab, we don't push, we don't pull. So pulling is bad because it engages you to come off their pressure and making them come after you. It allows them to come into your space. We never, ever, ever pull. Those of us, those who have been here knows what I'm talking about. What do we always do? We don't push, we don't pull. We always, please write it. Okay. We don't push, we don't pull. We always, I see nobody answering it. Does nobody know the answer to that?
Come on, somebody. Ralph should know this one.
Yes. Okay. So A, we don't push, we don't pull when we lops out. Okay. The problem with when you're talking about when you're doing with someone's big arms, it's hard to pull because you can't seal them, right? So if someone's got big arms and you're trying and you do it, you're coming off them and you're trying to grab them to pull them to you, and that's wrong. Okay.
We might have to get Sifu. Sifu, there, are you available to be a big, strong arm?
I'm not very strong.
But you
Right.
are a big, strong arm.
All right, and press is the answer. So when we lops out is never a push or pull.
If he sees my wrist, he's gonna be
What's
like,
the
"This is a
question?
tiny baby wrist," you know.
So he's asked, how do you pull someone like bigger, basically, and on a grab? So we don't pull on a lops out. We press.
This is gonna hurt me.
Okay,
It's gonna
no.
make me
So we
mad.
don't do movements like this because there's several reasons why we don't pull. One, you're coming off them.
You don't know
So
how
if
strong I am.
if
I'm
he's
a
strong,
house.
if I go like this and he's strong, I might be able to just pull my hand and come off and I expose myself. Two, if he feels it, he could actually jam himself in and bring me an elbow.
Ow.
Right. So he could do that. So three, I might just come slip off. I might go like, oh crap. And I might just slip off because I was bad. Like, so you never want to do that because our goal is always put pressure on the opponent, never away from the opponent. So when we press or when we lop, we always do a press where it's straight into the opponent. There's no forward, there's no backward, it's just inward. And that's how we lop. So if he's punching me, I lop like this and I just take it down. So I'm working with this energy, never trying to force this energy. Okay. And here's the good news. If the guy's hand's big, that's okay. Because if I press him, I don't have to seal him. So even if I have my hand like this, push into me, I can just press and keep my hand on. I don't know if the camera's on, but that we always like to say hands have to rest, press, or seal. Okay. Anytime I intercept hands, it has to rest, it has to press, or it has to seal. And it goes in that order, by the way, too. So it has to go in that order. So if I get my hands on him, punch me, I go into like a position where I can rest on him. In other words, I don't do this and go, look, that's not a rest. That's a fight. That's a push. I don't do this and go, that's not a rest. When he punches me, I'm in a rest position. See, I get on him, I connect, and I stay where I am. That's a resting point. Okay. The next step is a pressing point. So he punches. I do like this. See, now I can just press him. He punches again. I press. See, I just laid on him. I just put my hands on him. I press him. Okay. So pressing is on point. I never go forward or backwards. I never create these sliding motions because I can, if I do this and I try to push like this, he can yield and take me. Or if he's a muscler, he could just overwhelm me. Oh crap. Like, so we never do that. And again, same works for the opposite way. It works the same way, just on the, like falling off the other side of the tightrope. I fell right as I said I had to lean left. Like it's the same thing. You're going to fall off the tightrope. Okay. I was like, well, you didn't fall right. Yeah, I just fell left. It's just as bad. Okay. So we always do pressing techniques. Pressing is always on. So it's pressing like me staying on top of the tightrope. I'm not leaning left. I'm not leaning right. He punches me. I go like this. It's just right on. So you can see I'm just right on him. So when we lop, and again, that's rest, press. Now the seal is if I'm on a press, I can seal him. Just lay my hands and close him. So you have to do it in that method. You have to be on contact, which is you're resting. Once I make contact with someone, I am not trying to get his hands out. I just connect, and there I am. I'm on him. So I never like he punches. That's not on him. He punches. I go like this. I'm on. See, I just rest on him. Then I just turn to press, or I can press and seal. And again, the seal is just closing with the fingers around the arm. It doesn't have to grip him. It just has to be on him. And because it's not so I can hold him, it's actually so I can influence the movement. So in other words, if I do this, he can move his hand this way. He can move his hand this way. He's free to slide his arms anywhere. But if I can get to a hand where I can seal, if he tries to go that way, he's going to run to my fingers, which will turn the energy right into the palm anyways. So when I wrap my hands around him, it's because I bring it to the palm. There's 3 points on a grip, right? So there's 3 points in your hand is on a grip, the thumb, the fingers, and the palm. These fingers, okay, these digits, I should say, the thumb and the finger, they're here because if he tries to push or pull, like just say you push me, he's pushing towards my thumb. When he does that, I'm going to take all the energy there, and I'm going to keep the press on there. If he tries to pull, he can feel it go from the fingers. I'm going to convert the energy into the palm, which I will press him all the time, which is why we do that. Because we're not trying to force anyone. We're trying to control the point, not take the motion. So contact point is control point. It's always about controlling the point, not making the motion. The motion is the effect of controlling the point. It's not something I have to get. It's a result of getting the point. So when we grab, when we do lop, it's always on press. So anything I do when I lop, he punches me, I never do this and go, okay, I never, again, if he had a lot of force, he could just break me. If he had skill, he could slam his elbow into me. When he punches me and I do this, see, now he can't just take me. Notice how I'm on him. So I'm on press. And if he does any movements where he's pushing or pull, because I'm in my wrist, I can steer him. See, any force he does, because I'm on him, I have the ability to rotate, control my wrist, because it's in my wrist. But if I'm doing this, am I in my wrist? So then he can just take me off. So this is why we press. So we have control. So we can maintain the pressure. We can control the pressure. I have a lot of power without having to exert the energy. So this is why we are always pressing when we lop. And the lops out is not a pull. Everybody thinks when you lop, you got to take the guy's hands. No, my job is never to get his hands out. It's my job is never to go and take his hands away from me. My job is to get my hands into him. So I'm into him. That's my job. You don't win from defense. You always win through offense. There's never been a fighter in the world who won just by defending himself. You always win through the attack. So your lops out is not a defensive move. That's why I hate saying defensive techniques, because this is not how we put our mindset, because then we think of getting the energy off. You have to think of how to get your hands in all the time. So I tell myself, never get his hands out, always focus on getting your hands in. So when you lops out, it's a pressing lops out. It's never push or pull. If you do that, you're going to find it's always difficult to do. Pressing is 10,000 times easier. He always feels his energy being taken because I'm on his point, never trying to force his energy. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Super Larry. All right. Okay, I know you have another question, A, but I'm going to jump to someone else's question first, and then I'll circle back around to yours. I hope that is okay with you, just because we're about to be ending this live. And sorry, guys, that the first 30 minutes was total debauchery. We'll make up for that this upcoming weekend for you all. So let's see. Jimmy says, what do you think of Hung Gar 5 elements and 5 animals?
Well, Hung Gar is good because it's a 10 animal. I love 5 animals. I do it. If you ask me which animal is the best, it just depends on how I feel in that month. I think all 5 animals balance each other. They all have benefits to help each other out. Like tiger is like this, crane is like this. Tiger's hard, crane is soft. This is why they picked them. Leopard's an external style like this, right? Snake is like this. Again, it's hard and soft. Tiger is the hard side, crane is the soft side. Leopard is the hard side. Snake is the soft side. They counter each other. And dragon is both. It's internal and external. So he's like the linker that complements. A dragon has the combination of like a body of a snake, claws like a tiger. He moves like swift like a leopard does, and he's forceful and powerful like a tiger. So he's like the blend of all of them. So this is why the 5 animals were picked in that manner. Hung Gar is good too, but the one thing I don't like about Hung Gar is it is to me that I've learned it is a more like forceful styles. The bigger people always have the more advantage because they are putting the weight and the size behind it. Whereas the 5 animals, it's not about working the weight and the size. It's about focusing that energy and the power behind your hands, your body, your arms. So it's not about trying to put your mass against them. It's trying to put the focus against them. So that is the why I like the 5 animals over the Hung Gar. And some can say, no, Hung Gar is better. I'm not going to argue that. Everybody has their flavor. That's like saying vanilla is the best flavor. It's like some people like double chocolate, some people like chocolate. And it all has the same ingredients, right? It's made of milk, sugar, and cream. And so whatever flavor you have, that flair, that's fine. That's up to you. I'm not saying that Hung Gar is inferior to animals. I just like animals better than Hung Gar. It's my preference. But it's up to you. To me, it's all about the energy in the end. I don't care if you do a tiger, leopard, Hung Gar, foot, if you do mantis. To me, it's about the energy in the end. It's not about the style. It's about how you use the energy behind that. That makes the difference.
Hey, Cesar, we will cover yours and the members only one because it's already 8:01. Let me see if we can answer this next question by A real quick. He said, how are Tai Chi artists able to push people by keeping their arms still? Are they turning their hips or using first class levers?
Listen, I'm going to answer this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Listen.
Come on over.
There is like in a lot of this stuff there, it's just nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense. But there's some truth. But the truth lies in the person who is playing into someone's structure. If Sifu manipulates me with arcs, right, send energy back to me, and I'm feeding stupid energy into him, he could send me away because I'm just leaning stupid energy into it. See, it doesn't require my. I don't. If I just force in one little spot like this, and he can easily move it without.
Oh yeah, I can convert that.
And I look stupid, right? But I look stupid because I'm putting energy in a way that is very easily to be manipulated. If I just do this, do it again. It don't matter. I'm not putting any energy into him. So it looks cool. It looks magical. It's like a parlor trick, right? It's just a trick. All right, that's all.
Okay, so I'll help answer that. There are good Tai Chis out there, and there are bad Tai Chis. When you see a guy barely moving and the other guy barely moving, then he flies 5 feet backwards. Nonsense. It's crap. It's not real. Okay. Physics states that. If a guy's moving at 5 miles an hour and I move 1 mile an hour, how is he moving 20 miles an hour backwards? It's sheer impossibility. Now, the only way he can move 20 miles an hour backwards is if I'm moving 1 mile an hour. He has to inject 20 miles an hour or more into me that I can convert and bring it back to him. Then that would be true. Then that can work. But when I watch people doing like this soft, easy push hands, and they're just barely moving, and the guy goes, poof, and the guy's flying. That just doesn't work. Now, if she was to throw her weight and put force on me, like force into me, then I can do this, then it'll be fine because I'm converting that energy. It has to exist somewhere. You can't just have people moving, barely moving, and they go, ugh, and the guy drops. I've seen people where they grip the hand, the Tai Chi master goes like this, and the guy's like flying in the air, and then he drops on the floor. That's just sheer crap. That's physics, science itself dictates that would never happen. You cannot, it's impossible. And I say impossible, like I am possible. It's impossible to have a force with explosive power of 100 pounds of force when you only put 2 pounds and the person puts 4 pounds. It can't happen. You can get up to 6 pounds or more, maybe depending on how much he exerts that energy, and you can convert that energy. But there has to be some type of force that has to be equal or greater or close to equal that you can convert and accelerate it. Will combine with your energy back for that to happen. When you see Tai Chi masters who barely move,
or just standing there and the person
fly, that is just garbage. Someone has to create some type of energy to equal that force for that to happen.
Yeah.
So all those times when you see a Tai Chi master just barely doing anything, like she grabs me and I go, huh, and they fly. That's just garbage. That's garbage. I will never ever say that that's good. She has to literally like grab me and she has to force her way in, like she's leaning in. So when she does that, now we let go. But now I can bring that back. But she let go. That would have hit me in the hit to her face. But if she held on,
I felt my hair get caught. Yeah, like nah.
If she would hold on, pushing me, like she could feel that go back to her because that's her force being converted back to her. But notice what little she gave me. She moved back that little. Yeah. She didn't fly 5 feet. She gave me a little. I converted back. That wasn't her flying from that little bit of movement. Again, if that was the case, then we can create like energy and make energy for the world. I can make this little bit of energy and then make it explode to this. No, there's no such thing. Like I said, you can't deny physics. You can't deny the science behind that stuff. So when you see people barely move and they fly, it's a big load of crap. Okay.
And that is that, fam. We're gonna wrap it up. Again, sorry that we're a little late. Members, we will be jumping over and meeting y'all on Zoom, and hopefully everything works fine on that. I think it was just because we're going live on YouTube and it did not like us being logged in twice or something. I don't know, but all is well. We'll meet you guys and gals next week. Couple things that are going on this month. It is Child Loss Awareness Month, which unfortunately I am part of that club. So sending prayers out to anyone that is part of that club and a lot of love. If you need to talk or anything, I'm here for you. Just email me at support@shaolin.com anytime. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So that's why, sadly, another thing that I know a little bit about, I was in an abusive marriage for 7 years. That's part of the reason that my son was born full-term stillborn, my son Aiden. And we are going to be having a special towards the end of this month for that, and do something really cool to be able to help people out that are in that situation. Because a lot of it is when you have low self-esteem and you don't really realize what your options are and stuff like that, you end up in pickles that you do not expect, and sometimes you stay a little too long. So I know for me personally, learning martial arts and Tai Chi and Qigong, and I knew how to like handle myself physically before that. So it wasn't I couldn't fight or anything like that. It wasn't that, but it gave me a different level of confidence in myself and just helped uplift my self-esteem and my mindset about just a lot of different things. And I know it will help a lot of people, what we're doing with Enter Shaolin 2.0. So we're going to have a really awesome special coming up at the end of the month for anyone that wants to join our community and be a part of that. I know some of you on here, which I don't know if he's still on here. Let me look. It doesn't look like it. I was going to say one of our members is really looking forward to helping women that are in domestic violence situations. So we'll have a lot of resources and things to help people out that are in those situations. And I'm not just talking about women, men go through the same thing. A lot of times they're not taken seriously. I take y'all seriously. So if anyone needs to talk, I'm here for you. I just wanted to give a shout out because a lot of people don't realize that those two things run in this month. And a lot of times child loss has to do with domestic violence too. So all right, family, thanks for joining us. Again, sorry for all the techie difficulties. We'll make it up for you guys next week, and hopefully we'll have multiple camera angles for you next week. So, all right, fam, love you all. God bless. If you need anything, email us at support@shaolin.com. Peace, fam.